Hey, my friend, you probably already know this, but strong, healthy teams don't just happen by accident. They're built when we as leaders actually invest in our people, understand our own strengths and blind spots, and are intentional about creating a healthy team culture. Hi, I'm Robin Kent, and welcome to Teamwork Made Easier. In this podcast, we'll explore how people are wired and how to leverage our strengths, navigate those frustrations, and build that trust so teams can collaborate more effectively. Because one thing I know is this: when people are understood and supported, they don't just perform better, they start to love what they do and who they work with. So grab your coffee, lean in, and let's make teamwork easier starting today. Hey, my friend. Okay, welcome back to Teamwork Made Easier. Today, what I want to do is talk about why some work drains you and other work energizes you. So if this is the case for you, then it's the case also for those that are on your team, right? So I want to talk about this, and you're like, well, duh, because everybody's made different. But is that a duh? Do you really know that? Do you know why some of it just drains you and makes you feel awful and is exhausting, but it takes the same amount of time to do other work that energizes you and fires you up? And no matter how much sleep you had the night before, if you get to do this work, then you're like, oh my gosh, yes, this is why I went to college, or this is why I worked so hard in the career and learned what I learned in the trades, whatever that looks like. When you get to that work that energizes you, you're like, yes, I'm so excited. I don't know about you if you've experienced that, but I certainly have. And this is really tying back to episode number 2, where I start talking about working genius. So if you want a little bit more background, I would encourage you to go back to Working Genius in episode 2 and take a listen to the concept, the overall concept, and how the working genius works. But let's break it down and just, look at it right now through this. So there's different tasks in our job, whether it's at home or at the office where you actually work and you earn the paycheck. But there are different tasks that you may be able to do pretty well, but it still drains you. It still just depletes you so much faster than the things that energize you. So it's not about how much time it takes. It's not about that you are not capable of doing it, but it's about the joy you get from it, the excitement you get from it, or the dread you get from it. And so this is taking that working genius one layer deeper and looking at the actual individual task. So for instance, for me, those repetitive tasks that you do over and over, and you go through the same system over and over and over, just makes me want to cringe. It makes me want to go, oh my gosh, I have to do this again. It's not that I'm not capable of doing it, but it's boring. It's monotonous. It's just repetition. But then on the other hand, I know, for instance, my husband, so he's an accountant and he loves being repetitive. He loves knowing what to expect. He gains energy by not having surprises. When he does have a surprise situation, then it drains him even more. He's capable of managing it and dealing with it, but it drains him, where when there's a problem to solve, I'm like, yes, this is going to be fun. I can solve this. I see possible solutions. I see a way to handle this. So that's just a smidge example of the difference of things that could drain us or things that could energize us. It does not mean that we are not capable of doing it. It doesn't mean that one is smarter than the other. It's just how we're wired. It's how we're designed. We each have individual things that really fire us up or drain every bit of energy out of us. So this is what I want you to think about, because you're probably connecting with things like that in you, but just know that the people on your team have that exact same scenario going on within them. They have things that they might be very, very capable of, but those things can take all the energy out of them, and they don't do it with much drive or excitement or eagerness. They just are like, yes, I'm doing this because you told me to do this, but I don't want to. For another example, that when this really hit home for me, so a few years ago, I learned how to build a website, a WordPress website. It was exciting because it was a problem that a friend of mine had. She wanted a website, and I was like, ooh, this is exciting to do this. And I figured it out, and that part was so cool and so fun. And people around me were just so amazed that I figured out this technical piece of, stuff to design really nice websites. So from that, I had different people that would reach out to me and go, Robin, can you build me a website? Because I saw what you did for yours and your friends, and it looks amazing. Can you build me one? And I said yes a couple of times. And then I started saying no, because doing that same thing over and over, I was like, I can do this. Like, I have the skill set to do this, and I have the experience to do this. But doing that same thing over and over was just, did not want it. It was like, you could not pay me enough to do this. So that's one of the things that first clicked into my mind when I really started thinking about what energizes me and what drains me. So many a times we might think that that difference comes from motivation or discipline or intelligence, but it's not. It does not come from that. It comes from that we each are wired differently. Some of us love to brainstorm, and others of us love to organize the details. And some people are just like, you go brainstorm, you go organize, and just give me the work and I'll take care of it and make it happen. And when you go to listen to episode 2 in Working Genius, you'll see the 6 different stages of any work project or any team that goes through planning or putting things together. There's different stages of organizing, of creating, and then of implementing. And different individuals are best in different areas. So you just have to understand, where do you fall, but then start looking at your team and seeing, where do they fall. When we're able to recognize this within ourselves and help our team understand this, then 2 things happen. They are happier at what they're doing, and they are happier in who they are working with. And you, as the leader, our future leader, you get to go, yes, all right, I hired the right person. I have the right person in the right seat, doing the right work. We're making progress. We're achieving goals as a team. All right. And I'm sure that is exactly what you want to happen, right? So when you can break this down, then this is going to help you and help them. All right, so I want to give you a couple of things this week to work on. I want you to notice what type of work energizes you. Don't say, well, it's the paycheck. Okay, maybe the paycheck does help a little bit, but I want you to think about what type of work energizes you. Like, if you did this type of work all day long, then I might not care so much about how much I get paid. And, that is what really lights you up. And that's what maybe the tone in your voice changes, maybe the expression on your face changes, your posture changes when you get to do that. Me speaking to teams and delivering workshops and getting to do those kind of things, oh my gosh, I just light up and I get energized. A gentleman at church this past weekend, he asked me, he says, Robin, he says, do you get nervous and maybe even think twice about not going and talking on stages or in front of people? And I said, no, not really. I said, but I understand what you're saying. I said, no, I get really excited. My energy rises and maybe my adrenaline is pumping, but my adrenaline is definitely pumping because I'm excited to do it. And I'm excited to work with these people and help them understand this concept and just guide them to enjoy life better and all these things. And he was like, oh, okay. He just looked at me like, that's not me, but that's okay. That is totally okay. Okay, so the first thing is to notice what energizes you, and then find a couple of people that you work close with and start trying to figure out what energizes them. Start paying attention to the task that maybe you pass on to them and they're like, oh yeah, I got that. Okay, I'll get that to you in just a moment. Or start noticing the tasks that they put off, they procrastinate, they are finding all the excuses of what else needs to happen and what needs to be done, and start noticing that in other people. And they are going to feel seen and heard and appreciated so much more that it's going to be like, oh my gosh, I wish we could have figured this out so much sooner. So, all right, my friend. Well, I hope you go and figure this out for yourself and for your team. This is what I do with teams that I work with in person, and I do workshops with them, and I help them discover exactly what these things are and then how to play that out. And the light bulbs that go off, the excitement, the ahas, all the things that are like, oh my gosh, that's why you annoy the heck out of me, is because you like that and I don't. But then they can laugh about it. And it's so, so good because then, it's just so many ways that you can apply it. And that's what I love getting to do with teams, when I get to sit down, work with them, and really have a good time helping those light bulbs go off. So if you're ever interested in me coming to talk to your team, please make sure to reach out to me by the contact information that you'll find below this podcast, and I would love to connect with you. So until next time, have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you again really soon. Hey, my friend. Thanks so much for spending this time with me on Teamwork Made Easier. My hope is that today's conversation helped you see yourself, your team, or your leadership just a little more clearly. If you want to take this a step further, I'd love for you to grab my How You Are Wired to Work productivity tool. It's a simple, practical way to understand how you naturally work best, what gives you energy, and what might be quietly draining you, so you can work with more clarity, less frustration, and a whole lot more ease. Go to robinkent.com/tool. That's robinkent.com/tool. You can find the link down in the show notes, because when you understand how you're wired and how the people around you are wired, it changes the way you lead, the way you collaborate, and the way your team shows up. All right. Thanks again for being here. If this episode was helpful, share it with a friend or another leader who could use it. And be sure to join me next time as we keep building teams where people love what they do and who they work with.